morning. Thank you for being here today. Today I'm announcing the results of an internal audit that began under the direction of former Colonel Richard McEwen, in which I expanded in scope shortly after I became Colonel. This audit examined payments to personnel for overtime traffic enforcement patrols conducted on the Massachusetts Turnpike. Specifically, the audit examined overtime shifts called Accident and Injury Reduction Effort Patrols, commonly known by the acronym AIR Patrols, that were only conducted on Troop B. Troop B is comprised of 4 barracks and a troop headquarters that patrol the turnpike and tunnel systems. The initial audit, begun by former Colonel McEwen, uncovered apparent discrepancies between overtime paid and actual patrols worked by several Troop E members. As a result of the initial audit, as well as other information received, I expanded the audit to include all department members who were paid for working these overtime patrols on the turnpike in 2016. That expanded audit is now completed. Based on the results of the expanded audit, we will schedule duty status hearings for 19 members. These hearings will be scheduled in the coming days. There is one other Troop E member who would have also been scheduled for a duty status hearing had he not retired last year prior to the completion of the audit. Additionally, one other Troop E member would have also been the subject of a duty status hearing were he currently on active duty. That member, however, is currently suspended without pay as a result of a separate matter under investigation. Depending on the outcome of the hearings, these members face a potential change in their duty status, up to and including suspension without pay, while further investigation into the apparent payment discrepancies is conducted. Through further investigation, we will seek to determine whether policies, rules, or regulations of the state police were violated. We'll also seek to determine whether criminal charges are warranted. We have provided the results of our audit to Attorney General Maura Healey. We expect that her office will review the information and take whatever action they determine to be warranted. At the conclusion of the investigation, the department may take further action regarding the duty status of these personnel, in addition to any action taken by the Attorney General. It is important to note that last year, when this issue first came to light, we eliminated the air patrols. The department has also taken measures to increase accountability and oversight of remaining overtime shifts. We are expanding this audit even further to examine all traffic enforcement overtime shifts worked by department members and all troops. The point of that is to determine if there are any discrepancies between overtime paid and actual patrols worked department-wide. To date, we have no information to suggest that these discrepancies are wider in scope than what we have announced today, but we are committed to full accountability throughout the entire department, and thus will do our due diligence in that regard. Integrity, honesty, and accountability are core values of the Massachusetts State Police. Those are values that I, as Colonel, expect and demand, that Governor Baker and Secretary Bennett expect and demand, and that the hardworking men and women of this department, the overwhelming majority of our people, expect and demand of their peers. Most importantly, those values of honesty and integrity are what our citizens rightly expect and demand. For us to fulfill our mission as a police agency, we must have public trust. I, along with my new command staff, are committed to ensuring that these values and trust are reflected in our day-to-day operations. Thank you. Secretary Bennett will say a few words.
Thank you very much. I'd like to first say that the hardest job that any colonel has ever had with regards to the state police is being done by Colonel Gilbert. She's had a hard job since the first day she got on. Every time a difficult issue has come up, she's dealt with it fairly and with the object of that to make the state police a better organization. Colonel Gilpin and her staff sat down with me and reviewed the methodology with regards to the audit. It is meticulous, and not only that, it's consistent with all the investigative techniques that I've seen over my 25 years looking into criminal investigations. The last thing I have to say about this is what Colonel Gilpin is proposing to do in the future is going to make the state police a better organization and to ensure that incidents like this never happen in the future. Thank you very much.
Again, bearing in mind that this is an ongoing investigation and there will be numerous topics that we will not be able to discuss in detail, we will take a very few number of questions related to this announcement.
Colonel Gilpin, how disheartening is this for you This is a lot of money, a lot of taxpayer money on the Turnpike. You know, we looked at the tickets, we looked at the overtime, we saw that things didn't match up. You as Colonel, how disheartening was that for you?
It's very disheartening, not just to me, but to all the hardworking members of the state police. I came on this job for a reason, to make a difference, for public respect, for public trust, and to think that these alleged actions occurred, not just prior to me, but now under my watch, and that's why we expanded it to go Commonwealth-wide, and we're looking at all the overtime patrols to make sure that this does not happen again.
Do you think that people who retired should get a pass? If they were part of this, why should they get a pass?
They are part of this.
But can they be punished? Because
Absolutely.
can they lose their retirement because of this?
It's a potential. So when we send names over to the State Retirement Board, they look at allegations, they look at any criminal conduct and activity, and they can revoke their pensions.
Colonel, this seems like it's criminal. How can you investigate your own troopers? And if it's so, how is this going to happen? And are you saying it's not criminal yet, but you've looked into this?
So we've conducted an audit only, and we've referred all of the names and all of the case files to the Attorney General. And whatever action she deems necessary is what will occur. Upon her investigation, we will continue our internal affairs investigation, and any further discipline will be handed down.
Colonel, can you put a dollar figure on this? We have 19 individuals, we have all these tickets, how long has this been going on? How much money are we talking about?
I just was appointed in November of 2017. We looked into the air patrols conducted in 2016. In a very short period of time, we were able to conclude that audit. We will be looking at other years, other troops, and other overtime patrols.
We'll take one
Just
more.
break this down for us, like, how does this happen? Were these troopers just saying that they were working these overtime shifts and then just didn't show up and log the time?
I can't speak to what happened prior to my appointment. When it became apparent that this was going on, I also received information that this was going on. I took immediate action. We conducted the audit. We concluded the audit in a very short period of time, and now we're referring that to the Attorney General for whatever she deems necessary.
Last question, right here.
Just to follow up on Bob's, can you put a dollar amount even on before you expanded this?
I can't, so the number of missing shifts, we'll say, range from as few as 1 to as high as 100.
Thank you all.